Good morning, India, and good evening. Good morning, US, and good evening, India. So we welcome everyone to this, demo. Basically, we are KKR Chennai Innovations. So AI startup from USA based company, Georgia, Atlanta. So the main goal of this demo is to explain you all what we teach as part of AI no code tools. So which means whoever testing background from testing or business analyst or business analytical side or data analysis side or project management or anything related to management roles or non-technical roles. So the session, the today's demo will explain about complete no code tools, how we can leverage into our daily work activities. So that's the main agenda. We will share all the documentation what we teach as part of this course. So this will be kind of a hybrid approach where we teach coding, minimum coding concept, for knowledge awareness side, and we also teach like many concepts on the no coding tools as well. So we'll be sharing the documents more related to no coding and non-coding as well. So our AI architect Venkatesh will give more details on this stuff. Okay. So I welcome Venkatesh. Can you please take the control and proceed?
Sure, sir. Thank you. Good morning and good evening, folks. So today we'll be walk you through what is like an AI and what are the platforms we are using the AI technology. Along with that, what tools we use in the industry. Coming to the different clouds like in AWS and Google services like GCP or like Microsoft Azure. So and focusing with the other non-code tools like in a Google Vertex and other couple of the stuffs which will help us to build end-to-end applications lifestyle like an as an engineer or as an a developer like if you wanted to build your own customized application from end to end which can ready to use for your users. So that's our primary goal for this the webinar where initially we begin with the tools and then we're understanding the course content and along with the following informations. Okay, and I'll going to demonstrate a couple of projects as well like in a with the AI what we could be build the applications like in a which is can be who are the persons who are it's just like they are starting the career, they don't know the coding lifestyle, so even they can build their own the advanced applications which can be utilized for non-techie persons as well. So let me share my screen quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for confirming. So before I proceed with the information, first we understand because even for many of the like in the job positions we see in the different geographical location, either it may be the US or India or Europe. So many of the companies, the people looking into the persons who have the skill set of AI knowledge, even though they are into the data annotations or with the different the streams, the people who are working, so they can easily build their application so without writing in a single lines of code, who can develop the AI application. So that's what their people are more interested into the hiring these the people who is having a coding based tool like in a just like in a plug and play like in a nine tools or Google Vertex and Amazon have like an ML flow where you can just you can upload the files and you can select the particular steps and it will do that the automation automated of every steps. Okay, so before we doing, first we understand what is AI, because many of the tools, many of the people are they wanted to switch the job but without handling the code, how we can do that. So if we can understand about the artificial intelligence is something the replica of the human itself. So the human in how we do, how we take the decisions, in how we perform, say if we get in some certain task in the same way how the decisions we take for to finish off the particular task, the similarly the AI applications will finish off their the job activities. So that's what the AI which we can say in a simpler term in the for the non-techie personals, non-techie skill set person also they can understand AI simply is a replica of the human. Okay, so the persons the system create the function. That function should be independent and decision maker. Like if you wanted to go for in a movie, like just we take up the decision, right? Like we can book up the ticket and we see the convenient time, and we see the kind of the movie theater, and then we'll book that and we'll simply we go. So it's all about you are taking your decision for your activity. The similarly, if we provide any kind of information to the AI also will perform the similar kind of the rules and patterns. So that's what AI we can say that. So it's like the best example I can say that, like a selfless the driverless cars only. So like in generally the where the driver will required for you to we to go for one place to the another place, like where the driver will be the complete controlness of the car, like so how speed has to go, and based on the road type of road conditions, and based on the vehicle condition, and based on the the various information based on the traffics and everything, the driver will be decide like in how what was the speed has to be go, and what was the gear mode which has to be taken care, right? So when we see the driverless car, similarly what the driver duty will perform. Similarly, it will analyze with the complete sensors. Okay, the sensors will send the data with the like in a visually or like in a by capturing the video streaming to the image streaming, then taking off the NLP instruction and taking the decision. Like so from this day from the our vehicle distance to the next vehicle distance, how far it is there. So how what was the speed range has to be maintained. Okay, and what was the condition, what was the road condition, based on the like in the video analytics, which will decide that okay, based on this road condition I supposed to be reduce my speed. So everything will be automated. That's what the driverless car which can be created with the AI technology. So now we all we all get to know that what is AI, right? So now if you see that it's AI is not in one industry, like anywhere we can see it is into the media industry. We can the AI use cases we are utilizing in the banking industry and the healthcare industry, finance industry. So it is into the all the industry where the AI technologies which are utilizing for their application to develop in a more faster with the more the productivity and more the quality. So by considering with the three primary the skills which AI is implementing for each and every industry. So consider if you're taking for AI into the banking. So now like in the back end, as I was working for one of the bank, like in the US based bank, where we wanted to process the check automation system means where the user will visit the bank, like a user will just draft the check. So we will analyze that particular check, and we'll process that check, like who is the payee and what was the amount, and when was the check has to be processed. So all the information which will be validated through AI technology, and the amount will be transferred to the particular payer account. Okay, so this is the kind of one of the use case into the banking which I will be sharing. And like there are many of into the other technologies as well, like in considering for the healthcare as well, like in identifying the any false signals from the given drug, like in for consider if you are taking for any one drug for to to recover yourself from the one disease, but when you are utilizing the drug, like and you will be having a side effects, like in consider you are taking the medicine for to reduce the fever, but instead of like in reducing the fever, you got some other symptoms like in a cough or cold, and some other symptoms like in a vomiting or like in a dizziness. If you get some other symptoms, means that drug, the one which you are using, it is not working for your the body. So which I have to identify that. So this is early identification. So how the particular drug is working into the people as well. It is in the one of the use case, primary use case in the healthcare as well, which I was working for one of the healthcare industry as well. So like if you consider many of the industries, like they are using this AI technology to identify and to improve their the process, day to day process of their applications into the market. Okay, so going to the AI technologies, like so we use with the programming languages, considering the Python, R, SQL, and the Java. If you go with the non-programming languages, there will be the Google Vertex is one of the best tool, with the way how we do from the collecting the data to reading the pandas package, and then we do the data pre-processing with the regular expressions and with the other scikit-learn packages, then identifying the best algorithm for the classification or regression problem, then we deploy. So it's all about writing the programs like in the way you see here. Okay, now everything this program can be override with the tools. Like, if you are working as a non-programmer, like, you wanted to build a similar application, the application which you see here, like, can I consider this is the AI powered SQL generator. Now consider you don't have any experience into the SQL database as a database engineer. Now, like, you wanted to you wanted to build some SQL query for to retrieve the data from the databases. Now what you do with these AI applications, like, can you provide the query for reading 6 months of my sales data. Okay, so this the particular NLP query, the natural language query, the human based informations, or it will convert it to the SQL query, like in the one which you are saying, the select star from the sales table, and where sales date is greater than or equal to 6 months from the current date. So how simple is that? Like, do we require now as an SQL database engineer? So this is something is a AI which you can also build, like, with a simpler code, the one which I shown you now, the NLP to SQL. But even with this, without this code, also you can just use the clouds computers, like an AWS have their own the tools where you can develop your own AI application. Similarly, what you see here without the coding, where you need to just build the flow chart, like in a so for these particular the code of these, like, you will be having the flow chart like in a box. You just have to drag and drop, and you are going to construct this step by step. So that's where entire the code will be developed for yourself. So this is how similar way where you can develop the AI power applications as well. Not only the NLP based, like, you consider there will be the industry some queries related to the payroll industry, where they wanted to the advanced AI bot system they wanted to be introduced for their employees. Like, in considering if you're working with an Amazon or Johnson and Johnson company or Intel, so there will be the, like, they have the employees across the global, like, so in order to solve their queries for their employees, because some employees they required some certifications, or they required some documentation for their to submit into the IT returns, or they want some other documentation for to travel for their vacation. So they wanted to submit some document to the visa team. So it's like, it's for the various information they wanted to. So every time, in order to send a email, or like in a processing, it is like taking a little timer, right? Like, if we build one kind of bot system, the advanced AI bot system, any complaints which is related to the payroll or HR team will comes like the solution, and it will tag to the right people into the industry team, within the industry in the team. So you will get the query informations in a faster way. Like, for example, see, I wanted to know the benefits of benefits of my salary, benefits of my tax. Okay, so if you see that benefits of my tax, I just kept it like in a random question. So it will analyze, and it will tag to the which team, like in a pay slip explanation. If you see, I wanted to know the benefits of my tax, because every information will be available in the pay slip only, right? So benefits and tax, you can see the key terms. Based on that, it is provided the category, which category it has to be come under that. So it will make them into the right people, and you will get the solution for your query. So this is some kind of the AI application which you can develop by yourself without writing any code. And there will be the legal use case also, which our team has developed. This team made the slash streamlit app, which is completely non-coding level itself, and we have both coding and non-coding as well. So this is specifically some use case for the legal team, like, as you are working for a lawyer. Consider you are a lawyer, like, you wanted to, like, as a lawyer, what you do, like, you will collect the document from their clients, like, what kind of the evidence we have, or like, what was the information. So preliminary information completely will gather, and will prepare the detailed report. and based on the report, then you will start the investigation, right, as an itinerary. So consider similarly, if they have the some intelligent tool where they can collect all the information and they can process and they can summarize their information. So what is happened actually with the client and the the other person, like so what is happened, so everything which can be analyzed and which can be performed. So like these are the kind of interesting tools which will be developed with the AI technology. Okay, so these tools will be helped by our teams, like where we are connecting with the some of the clients to develop their the applications for their use cases. So you also will be the part of for these applications, as you once you people start enroll with us, like as a part of on the course curriculum, as a part of on the capstone project, which you people going to land with this the real time projects where you people are going to work with us. So these are the some of the AI use case which we work with the coding tools and non-coding tools as well. So where you are going to learn from the various technology without doing of a single lines of code, which next my coming folks which they are going to tell you as well. So the information which we are seeing with the machine learning frameworks and data pre-processing tool and visualization tools and everything, which can be done with the coding and coding platforms. Generally here we use the coding for the Python programming language. As you see, this is the Python programming language for to develop our AI based applications. So there are multiple use cases, as you see in the pharmacy, restaurant API, stock market, and the lang memory. So agentic AI platforms, everything which can be, we are going to learn and we are going to develop the various use cases. Like these are the advanced development tools which we are going to utilize for our developmental application process, like coming to the cloud AI services like AWS SageMaker and Google Vertex and Azure OpenAI and IBM Watson, and the frameworks like TensorFlow, Hugging Face, PyTorch, and LangChain, and code generation tools like we are going to learn, because many of the companies they are providing their the chat GPTs, like in the code generation tools for their employees to write their code very quickly, and which can be tested more faster way to it can be utilized for the production environments. So that's where they're introducing these code generation tools as well. So which we need to know how to choose the right extensions and how to choose the kind of like the functionalities which we need to develop, and everything which can be learned as part of the course curriculum, and tools also which you can see that like in for various use cases like an image generation and video generation and image synthesis. So it's kind of different tools which we are going to learn on our service. So why we are saying for this eight tools and non-tools, because some industry they want to go with the from the coding, like and they wanted to build their own tools, like and they wanted to build their own tools from the beginning, from the scratch. So that's where they will come up with the Python, like and some programming language they use. So now some companies without like any touching of the code, they wanted to utilize some cloud services tools like in Amazon or Google, and they can easily build their AI applications as well. So that's where like and as you wanted to be in a part of into the AI platform. So by learning of this, the both, it will be helpful for our career to be land into the right jobs. One second, let me go to that. As we see here, the top industry, as I told you, like in healthcare as well, like many of the management consulting and staffing areas are controlled by the AI only, so filling of the information and doing of the patient analysis in detail about what could be the right action can be taken up for the particular patients on a time, so that the patient can be record it in a soon time, like in a recovery, it will be in a quick time. So that's where the some of the AI applications which are working into the healthcare as well, like as you see couple of documents as well. So how this healthcare forms will be available, so all the patient details and everything which will be available in the detailed report. So these reports can be extracted and it will be analyzed with the patient level, and the decision can be taken up. So many of the companies are the people are who are into the healthcare industry, they are introducing the AI agents to their use cases and day-to-day use cases to take up the better decision as well. And if you see that the investments into the AI as well, like in healthcare into the $45 billion, and with the generative AI technology also, which they wanted to utilize, like in $38 billion, they are using like in a, instead of like in a taking of traditional algorithms where they wanted to utilize the large language models, like that's where it will come in the part of Gen AI. So that's where many of the people also industry are investing in 38 billions of dollars nowadays. And cyber security as well, because as we see that as a growth on the technology, we see there's some attacks as well. So where they wanted to destroy these AI applications as well. So we have to protect our AI applications, we have to protect our applications in the industry as well. So that's where the cyber security team, where they will handle this the attacks from the unknown users for our for our application. So which they won't allow like an external IP address, which is supposed to like in a block. So everything which will be controlled by the cyber security team. So the people who are into the cyber security as well, if they can learn the AI technology, which will be helpful for them, because many of the companies investing into the cyber security side as well. Like, and as we see, 22 billions of dollars which they are been introduced in the AI. So as part of like in AI roles for the coding and non-coding, it's all about the skill set will be the different, but the jobs and duties will be the similar. So the job roles will be the like a machine learning engineer and Gen AI engineer and computer vision engineer, AI ethics specialist. So like they might be the different the position names, but the day-to-day responsibility will be same for to build the AI applications like this. As you see that, like in a, by taking off the general human query, which will be converted to the as for your user query, which is not required any database engineer. If you build like kind of this application, this is what we are going to develop from our course content. So I'll quick walk through that, like, and as a part of this the webinar, and once you learn with these tools and everything, what you're going to benefit, and what are the information which you're going to learn in detail as well. So there are the 12 weeks to 16 weeks of program which is planned. So based on the thing, like, and it's an will we can allocate the capstone projects as well. So first week, we see that the foundations of AI and data in business and IT, as we have just seeing of the various use case into the like in a legal use cases and the HR industry use cases, and as a part of internal industry applications, like in where they wanted to build these AI applications for the NLP queries for them to query the information from the databases as well. So that is where the key interest things which we are going to learn on the part of the week one, for to understanding the various business use case. So for then we going with the tools like in a Microsoft Excel as well, for organizing the data and the basic analysis which we are going to perform as well. And then we follow with the Power BI, like in a Power BI or Tableau, which we are going to see, where we are going to learn the data visualization and dashboard creations, and which we are going to deploy as well. So if someone wanted to utilize those dashboards externally, we are going to host publicly, and we are going to deliver that the UI dashboards as well. So that's where the tools we are going to learn in the part of the session of the week one. And then we will see the practical exercise as well, both from the analyzing the data in the Excel and building a dashboard in Power BI and Tableau as well. So and you will be get the resource like in a the data science of the business, the complete code, the materials, and along with the Google Cloud AI business information and Power BI tutorials from the end to end from the part of the codes from the week one and week two. Then week three and week four, like in the general touch up of the coding which we are going to learn, because as a part of the AI engineer or data scientist, so even sometimes we may require like in a for simple lines of code which may require you to build us. So that's where we have introduced for 2 weeks of program to the Python fundamental for data analyst, the one which we have seen here, numpys and pandas regular explanation, and how to load CSV, Excel, JSON file, Paraquet, or like in a jobless files, like in as a part of the data loading. How we are going to do the similar, we are going to learn on the Python fundamentals for data analysis. So here you are going to learn entire Python programming language, which is very simple. So you don't need to worry about the syntax and everything, which will be taken care by my, our expert teams who are already into the industry from 15 years. and they have working with the multiple programming language. They will teach you in a easier way you to catch up this Python programming language, even if you're beginner as well. And coming to the tools, like to write the code tools, like as I shown you with the PyCharm is one of the code editor. Similar, like for beginners, we generally teach with the Jupyter notebook, because it will be more easier for user to learn the program by line executing. And the Google Colab as well we are going to teach, because that's where the many of the companies they wanted to have the people who has already have worked on the Google Colab editor as well, like that's similar like a Jupyter notebook, but we are going to work on the Google Colab. Even AWS SageMaker, they have their own notebook as well, Jupyter notebook, so which can be run through the AWS platform. And Visual Studio Code as well, we are going to learn as part of that with the various editors. And few practical examples which we are going to work, like in use cases on the Python side as well, so that we will be more expertised in ourselves, like by learning all the various steps. So, and week 5 and week 6, like we are going to learn as part of data cleaning and transformation and techniques with the both the tooling and the coding level as well, so that you will be perfect in a both sides. Like if the company wanted to develop with the tool you can develop, and if the company wanted to go with the Python programming, so as a part of this the course you can be going to benefit from the both technologies. So like that you are going to learn with the cleaning and the exploratory data analysis. And then you are going to follow with the data visualization as well, like the way we use in the Power BI and Tableau, which are going to replicate with the Python coding tool, as in a Matplotlib and Seaborn package, and the other beautiful packages which are available. So with those charts, the packages, we are going to build the line charts, histogram, Matplotlibs, and bar charts, and more advanced statistical visualizations are also we are going to do that. And coming to the week 9 and week 10, so we are going to learn the cloud computings, like in a cloud computings, like in a Azure, Amazon. Like as you see that these are the AWS services, like in AWS SageMaker services, Amazon Bedrock services, which we are going to learn in a more deeper way, like in how these services can be utilized. So now the one which you're seeing, the AWS cloud platform. So like that you are going to explore with the multiple services. So like as part of S3 bucket and Lambda functions and Bedrock services, SageMaker and ML flow, everything which you are going to learn with that the GCP and along with the Amazon Web Services as well. So like you see that there are multiple services are available. So we are going to show you a few of them applications as part of the as an AI developer with the skills which is required. Okay, so then we are going to learn with the, as you see that S3, Azure, Blobs, GCP, and everything you are going to learn. Okay, with the AWS and Amazon Web Services, Azure as well. Then follow with that week 11 and week 12. We are going to show you, like, and as I told you that in Azure we are going to use cognitive services, like in Amazon we use the Bedrock services here. So similarly, cognitive services where you are going to develop your own GenAI based application. So that's where we are going to see the difference between the Amazon side and Google side as well. So where you are going to play like this. Okay, you can select the model here, and you can start here. Okay, single prompt or something you can select here. You can model Anthropic, Clouded, DeepSeek, everything, the models which will be going to teach you for as part of this week 11 and week 12 as well. Then we're going to do some couple of practical session exercises as well as part of the use case. And then week 13 and week 14 we are going to do the advanced data wrangling techniques, and how to overcome the overfitting and underfitting issues, and how to optimize your the model performances, and everything we are going to learn on the week 13 and week 14 as well. And week 15 and 16 we are going to learn the GenAI applications like an LLMs as part of RAG and open source and the cloud computing based everything which you are going to learn like in a GPT BERT or the open source which you can build your own algorithms, and along the embeddings also we are going to see where you can convert the text to the numerical values with the higher vector dimensional shapes like in more context value. So this is where week 15 and week 16 we are going to cover up. And coming to the week 17 and 18, exploratory data analysis and future engineering, the stuff we will be covering up. So all like in each part of like in things we are going to cover up with the completely. So with the week 23 and week 24, we will going to show you the model deployment. Like once you develop this the AI applications, like you need to develop, you need to deploy, right? As you can see that. So if anyone can use this application as well, like a Meta Streamlit app, which is publicly available. If you can just type, you can get it and you can utilize. So that's where we deployment process which we are going to show you in the week 23 and week 24 like as part of fast API or like in a Flask or Django, one of the REST API framework we are going to taken up and we are going to develop and we will deploy into the cloud services. So this is the course curriculum which we are going to learn, and which will cover up both the the tools and which you are the information which you are seeing, everything which you are going to just you are going to put on the plugs like in connecting the dots to dots like in a if I wanted to do the expert data analysis, so you are going to select the option as an expert data analysis, and then you are going to select the steps and then just you are going to submit it, so it will run for everything. You don't need to write the code as well. So that's the beauty of this the AI code tools which we are going to learn today. So this is from my side as part of the AI and course content, and I will hand over the session to the Meghana.
Yeah,
So
thank you, Venkatesh. Sure. Thank you so much. Meghana, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yeah,
Okay, can you share your screen?
yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we are good now.
Okay. Hi guys. So I will be teaching about low code tools in Vertex AI, which is by Google, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up an agent without having to code too much. And like let's get started. So I'll just start with what is Vertex AI and how is Google contributing to this AI technology, and what all do they have in their dashboard or in their platform, right? So Vertex AI is like an umbrella where Google has provided multiple kinds of AI applications and AI models which we could leverage in any stage that you are at. If you're a complete non-coder, from being that person to someone who can code really well. So for everyone, Vertex AI has something for them. So what Google is trying to do is put all their AI facilities within the umbrella called Vertex AI, where you can find machine learning models and generative AI models and Gemini, and they also have like third party models like Claude and Llama, etc., which are which we can leverage when we are on Google Cloud itself. And if you're already a cloud engineer in Google, it will be easier for you to set up the entire application or entire pipeline, because they will collaborate with their other Google services like BigQuery, Kubernetes, and whatever the services that they have, and deploy a model. So I mean, even cloud functions. So anything that anything that you know from before also can be leveraged here. But since we are sticking to low code platform at this point, I will be showing you a couple of models that Vertex AI has created, and also a very easy way to create an agent within Vertex AI, and put them in your websites, right? So you can see that this is like a documentation series that Vertex AI has provided, where you can see all the models that they have within them, all the services that they're giving under this umbrella called Vertex AI, and you can go ahead and look through them, so that it'll be easier for you to understand and leverage all the products that you want to create. And all of them has their own documentations and all of that. But having a hands-on this with a good instructor is will get you into a better situation. um, so right now we will go and explore the Vertex AI platform itself. So let's say if you are already set up to a Google account, you can see you can just go ahead and type Vertex AI in the search bar, and you can see something like this, which you could just click and look through the models and facilities that they have provided. Definitely, if you're new to this platform, it is easier, since all of us at some point have been like using Google in one or the, like even basic like Gmail or anything. If so, since we used all that, the UI is simpler to us. And also like the UI, even if you're very new to this, the UI of this particular dashboard is pretty simple, where it does give us a lot of information of what each section is doing. Like for example, if you want to click on Vertex AI, it will give us what the Vertex AI has and all of these, right? So it's just easy for us to navigate and see if this is something that we want to leverage or understand at this point, right? So this is one of the dashboards that you can see. And these are like Vertex AI Studio is the one which is more focused on the generative AI aspect. Like like you can work with models like Gemini or third party models, and everything like that. And Model Garden is where you can see all the third party models and native models that are available within Vertex AI, and which you can leverage. And for each model, there are it has its own restrictions, and it has its own way to set it up. And they've given good documentation of how to set up each model for your use case. And Collab Enterprise and all of this comes more of like when you know more, when you're like getting into more of coding kind of a situation, where you want to code and create your own model, like fine tune your own models, or try to use your own models in a coding form of situations. You can use Collab Enterprise and their notebooks, where you can code in whichever language, mostly Python, but whichever language that you're comfortable with, and then deploy the models, right? So yeah, like I mentioned before, like they do have when you want to you can integrate with other data sets and all of that, which you can add them within the Vertex AI platform and use them for your own use cases, right? So let's try Vertex AI Studio at this point. So in Vertex AI Studio, so when it comes to generative AI, we would have, which is very much like a booming topic at this point, right? So when someone's talking about generative AI, a lot of people talk about prompt engineering, prompt management, and fine tuning the models, and translations, and how does each, like how do you uh, like change the way LLM speaks to your users, depending upon your prompts and all of that, right? So this is a very good start of so for that, Vertex AI Studio will be like a very good start of how you can leverage the LLMs that are out there, and try to make sure that you can tune them in the way that you want, that you want the LLM to respond to your users, right? So let's like go here and see, like there are like creating prompts, where you can just type like what, so you can go here and you can switch models if you want to. Like these are the models that they have currently, and all the third party models, whichever is available, and if you want to use them, and all of that. And you can tune, like if there are any fine-tuned models that you have done before, they'll be showcased here. And currently we'll just use Gemini to see, like how it responds and all of that. So for example, if you've just created something and you want to be like, okay, I will use different model and see how it's responding to me, then in that way I can just make sure that I'm using the right model, right? And it also provides what each model is good for, right? So like this one says like our balanced model for low latency use cases, and it'll give you a gist of what each model is capable of, why each model can be good for your use case. And they also provide like what is the latency and what is it used best for, and all of that. So using all of this, you can just like try to analyze, okay, this is what, hey, I am using this for, like for, let's say, like I want to just try to have like a multi-step models, and where my in my use case I want the model to think in multiple steps before giving it answers. So that's, if that's my use case, then I would just go and use Gemini 2.5 Pro, because they have given me telling that, okay, this is like long context analyzing large data sets, it can tackle multi-step code, math and STEM problems. So they've given like a proper use case of what each model is able to do. So with using that information, we can choose which model we need, and what are the pricing details, the rate limits, everything, right? So with this we can try to be more assertive about which model are we using, why are we using the model, and all of that, right? So here you can see something called as system instructions. This is the main aspect of how that makes your LLM act like you want, right? So like the LLMs and the pre-trained LLMs that we have right now, let's say Gemini models or Claude models, whichever models that are out there, we know that these all models are pre-trained with an enormous amount of data. So it's like if so when you give system instructions, what it does is it just, the models fine tune themselves to act like how you have given instructions, right? So it's like basically someone who has enormous amount of information, but this information is like, okay, if I just ask a generalized question, sometimes it might not be sometimes it might not be relevant to what we're talking about, or it might not be addressing the right customers. Like for example, if you're trying to build like a like a platform for school kids, and you're trying to answer school kids questions, but the LLM is just providing very simple, straightforward, basic answers without understanding who's the audience and all of that. Then your purpose of creating that model is waste, right? Because the school kids are not understanding what LLM is trying to tell them, right? So in that case, adding system instructions will help us a lot. Like you can tell the LLM model to be like, hey, you are teaching all of these topics to a school kid of like 10 years old, and so that fine tune your way of saying depending on that, then it will change the way it talks, right? So we can see that here once, like let's say, you are a school teacher for 10-year-old kids. Answer questions according to that persona. Make sure your responses are understandable to kids, right? So let's just not do this right now, and then let's just give a question, right? Mm, let's say, okay. So let's see if this is our question, okay, and we're using Gemini 2.45 Pro. You can switch the model, it's completely up to you. So it's providing us a lot of data where where if you give this to a 10-year-old kid or a 5-year, like 10-year-old kid, probably he or she might have some problem understanding all of this, right? So it's telling about something like Falcon 9 or Earth's gravity and all of that. And if a 10-year-old kid is reading this, they will simply get too confused and not understand anything, right? But let's put this and then ask the same question again. Okay. Let's see. I might have to so let's see how it's changed the way it's talking, right? Like basically it says, imagine you want to go on a trip and you want to go across the town, and the way that it started explaining changed, right? Because here it's just giving up straight up like uh answers where it has more of complicated words which could be understandable by like people like us, but like not for a 10-year-old kid, right? But when you see this answer, you can see that the way that it has changed its words, the way it's changed the persona is like is what we are looking at. So what system instructions can do is basically like um, try to you can use the system instructions and try to uh, make it act like how you want, right? So this is one example that I wanted to give. And if you want to like go ahead and try the models, you can use the models here, and all the third party models that they have, and you can try to see like, okay, which model can be useful for me. Sometimes few models will have a few restrictions which you need to set up beforehand, and it will have clear instructions of how to do it and all of that, right? So this is one playground where you can easily access the LLM models and try to get hands on with them, right? Like get used to these models and before you create any application or anything like that, right? So this is one thing that I wanted to show you. And also you can see that here there are like so many ways, right? You can use this studio to try and create images and generate voice and all of that. So you can go here and try to explore as much as possible with whatever is available with you. Usually if you're new to Google Cloud, it will give you a couple of new credits in the beginning, from which you can try out all of this stuff for free also, right? Now talk to Gemini, show Gemini, share your screen. There are so many things that they're adding on a daily basis which can be utilized without having to code so much, which we can get hands on with, and all of that, right? So prompt gallery is basically like, if when you want to if let's say you're creating a business development writing, right? So now you want to see, you just want you want to use LLMs and get that done, right? Then you can see how they have given the system instructions of how are they giving for business development writing, right? And how are they giving their prompts and all of that. So you can leverage these templates and try to create your own templates and work with them, right? So you need not have to worry about, oh, how am I going to start this prompt engineering. But you can start here by analyze, like looking at these kind of looking at these instructions and writing on your own. And then you can even take courses which we also provide, like prompt engineering courses or anything where you can uh, up your skills after having hands on here. You can up your skills with actual meanings of one shot prompting, few shot prompting, how does it work, a chain of thought prompting, when do we use, and all of that, right? So our courses will teach you that also. But initially you can try understanding how the prompts are written and all of that, right? And you can manage your prompts also. You can create your own prompts and you can add them here and all of that, right? I have, so whatever prompts I have used here, they're all here, right? Like whichever ones I use, all of the prompts are within these within the uh, prompts. So you can create your own prompts, or you, if you already have written few prompts outside, you can import them and all of that, right? And you can, and also there are something called as agent garden. So here what you can do is, these are completely blueprint source codes, right? So these are for if you're a financial advisor, then you can see like a blueprint of how you can use it, what is the use cases, and how what can agent do and all of that. These are all under preview, especially the agent builder, because they have released something called as agent space, and ADK, and a to A, and all of these agent to agent interaction. These are like very new. They have just released like in April or May, and they want to this is a very good addition to what Google is providing, where you can have, for enterprise level, you can have multiple agents interact with each other, like have a protocol between each other and all of that. So you can look at all of these samples and leverage them and see which one can you use, and will you be able to use, or is it something like a low code is it low code, or if do I need to learn a little bit more and all of that. But if you're somebody who can try to understand, who just needs a push to try to create an agent by yourself, but you just don't know where to start and where to code and all of that, you can start with these samples, right? And you can try to understand, and they do have good documentation, and then you can try to understand them, and then you can leverage techniques that you can take from classes, like the Python classes that we provide, and you can use those techniques also and try to build on your own, right? So these are few things that Vertex AI provides, which is very informative for us, right? And you can see what are tools that you can leverage. They have a lot of data tools that you can leverage and all of that, right? So they have a lot of connectors like this, and so you can do multiple things using this agent garden, right? um, So these are a couple of things that Vertex AI provides, where you can get started with, and you can try to have your own understanding of how this LLMs work, and how can I try to understand these LLMs, and what can I do with them. So these are like good. This is a good platform where you can try to use it as a playground and try to play around with all the models and all of that, right? Now we'll get to a very interesting point, where you can see how easily can we build a call or a chat agent, and how can we just orchestrate within minutes, right? So now that we have learned on Vertex AI, Vertex AI has another section called AI applications, which was before called as Agent Builder. So what this AI applications is, right? So if you just type AI applications, you should see something like this, which has similar logo as Vertex AI. So you can, if you click on this, you will go to you will go to a place like this, right? If you don't have agents created beforehand, all of this will be empty. But you can see that you will see all of these stuff. Now you come here and you realize like you're trying to understand like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? How am I creating an app? I don't know anything. I'm not someone who can code, but I just want like a quick chat bot for the information that I have, right? Now let's say if you are someone, let's take a persona right now, right? I am someone who is very interested in trading. I have a trading website of my own, and I just want to build a quick chat bot which could be incorporated with my website, and I just want to make sure that all the information that it provides is from my own PDF files that I have, and it I don't want it to you I don't want LLM to use its own knowledge, right? So that's what I want. I don't want any additional stuff to be told, or anything like that. I want to control most of it. I want the LLM to just use my own data, and my own PDF files, use my own PDF files before it answers my users, right, or my clients. So this at this point, what comes into picture is something called as RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, where this particular concept is especially used for the business objectives and enterprise levels, where you can use your own data. And what these LLMs do is, from its pre-trained models, it uses its own contextual ability but not the data itself. And it leverages your own data and provides answers from your own PDF files, or however you provide the data, right? It's not going to use its own knowledge base. It's going to use your data as its knowledge base and then answer your user queries. So for you to get, like, there are multiple ways to set up this RAG architecture, right? And most of it comes with a lot of coding abilities that you need and all of that. But this AI applications, here you need not have to worry about having to code. So this can be a very good kickstart of how you can understand how this RAG architecture works without having to code so much, but also finish your building your agent in like a day, not much time, right? So let's take like a persona that I've mentioned before. Like, I am a trader. I have a website of my own. Now I want to build an agent that I can incorporate with my website. I have my own data. Now I have to provide that data to this particular data to this particular LLM, and the LLM should be able to answer from that data only, right? Now what I can see here is, basically, I have like a PDF file, which is a public file, not mine, but like this is just a persona that we're continuing, which has 84 pages, right? Now if someone comes and asks me about this, and some random question that they have asked, and I should scroll through entire 88 pages to see where it is and understand it first, and then provide the answers to them. But what if LLMs can just do this by themselves, right? Now we are just taking one document, but LLMs have the capability to have multiple documents with hundreds of pages, and it still can do the same thing what it can do with one document, right? Definitely there are many other topics or concepts that you would need to know, like token limits and top case, top piece, but let's not get into it. For now we're just thinking about creating a small agent to my website, right? So now I have this data. How much it is? It's 84 pages. I am not going to read all of it and give my users answers, because it's too much, right? Now I'm going to use an agent to do this, right? Now what do? I want to make sure that this data is given to the agent and build an application on it, right? So now you can see this AI applications and you can see like, okay, how am I going to set this up, right? So now you can see there are multiple things around and you can see like, okay, what's happening? Like there is apps, there's data stores, it says it's monitoring and settings and all of that. So you can, so what is the first thing that you will think about when you want to create an app? You want to make sure that the data is already available in the vector database or in the way that LLM can understand, right? So for that you need to provide the data, right? So you have to store the data in some place within the Google Cloud, so that this AI applications can access it, right? So like you have used, um you would have used many platforms like Google Drive and etc. Google Cloud Storage has something called as buckets, right? So when you just go here and type cloud storage, you will see this platform coming up, right? If you just click cloud storage, you can see this cloud storage coming up, right? So if you go to this cloud storage, you can see that there are multiple buckets. So how cloud storage works is basically like, within the storage you will have multiple buckets, and within those buckets you can just store whatever data you want. So let's keep buckets as like sections where you can just try to store the data, right? It's as simple as that. So now I want to create a bucket, so I'll just click one. I just want to make sure that I have my own section for this particular project. I don't want to involve with any other section, so I'll just creating my own section, and here the section is called as a bucket, right? Now I'll just get started and see like, okay, what my bucket's name can be, right? So I can just put that bucket name, and let's say, mm, trading bucket. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay. So it's just basically like how we provide our social media, uh, unique names, right? So, okay, so this is it. This is included. So we'll just add this. And then where do you want to store the bucket? It can be multiple regions, or it can be dual regions where you just give two regions, and then you can have one of your own region, whichever region that you could see and all of that. But I would just stick with multiple regions and just click continue. And then this one is basically like, how do you want to store the data? Like this is for best for short term storage and frequently accessed data. So you can see that they have also provided us proper information of what each choice means, right? So like looking at the choice, I can just click on standard because that's what I'm going to do. And then I can just like see how to store the data. Should it be uniform or should it be fine grained and all of that. So for now I just need uniform data, and I'll continue that. And then how to protect this object data, like they have also given information of what to protect, and I'll just leave it as it is. I need not have to worry about this at this point, since my data is not that secure data or anything. It's just publicly available data, right? Now, few clicks away, you just created your own bucket, right? What you can do in this bucket is clearly just upload the data how you would do it before. Like just click on upload files. It will open the the page, the dialog box that usually opens for anything, and then you just click on your folder and then you just upload. That's all. You just set up your data in the cloud, right? It's as simple as how you have created, how you would have uploaded in Google Drive or anything, right? So this is it. This is the data, and you've already had it and it's ready, right? Now you have the bucket ready. You have you have the data ready. Now you want to make sure that LLM understands your data, right? So now every time you can't just every time you can't use the data just like that. LLMs have a way, like LLMs have something called as vectors, where they are the understandable format for them, and we need to make sure that this data is understandable that way. But I don't know how to code, so I don't know what these vectors are, I don't know what to do, but I just know that I want to make sure that this is ready in a way that like LLMs can understand. So I just go back to my applications, and then you can see something called as data stores, right? In this data stores, what you can do is basically you just hit on creating data store, and then you can see that in whatever ways that you want to add your data, you can have multiple ways of adding that data to your application, right? So now I just like we stored it in a bucket. We know that there is a bucket called trading 123, and I want to make sure that this bucket is used for adding the data. Then I go here, and then it asks, is it a structured document, unstructured document, or all of this, and it will also give what file formats are supported and all of that. So do you have to worry about knowing what choice to pick? No, right? You just know what is already there, and you can be like, yeah, I think mine is unstructured documents because I have these PDF files, HTML files, all of these files I have, so I can just click on unstructured document. Right now, synchronization frequency is basically like, is it ingesting only, so do I ingest only one time, or is it periodic, or is it streaming, right? So in periodic, it's like every day it syncs the document from that particular Google Cloud storage. But for now, mine is only like one time, so I'll just click one time, and you just browse the folder, right? So if you can do that also. Is it a folder or a file? If it's a folder, whatever is there in that particular folder will be added as a data store. So now you can see that there are like multiple buckets here, right? And then you can see that there's something called trading bucket CSV, sorry, trading bucket 123, and then I click on it, and then that's it. And then you add your data store name, right? Let's say test trading 123 or something like this, right? And then you can see that there are document processing options. If you know them, go ahead and change them. If you don't, you can leave them as it is. And if the output or whatever you're getting is not satisfying, then you can come and change them later too, right? So you can here just see what document parsing is and all of that. Like digital parsers is mostly for these all of these text documents, and all of these uh, PDF documents and all of that. And OCR passes are mostly for image based documents, and for layout parser it's mostly for any documents that has layouts in them, it has a specific format from where you could just have to extract the data, right? So right now digital parser is enough for me, but if in my parsing, in my PDF, I have images also from which the data has to be extracted, I can even add an exception, right? I can add, okay, this is a PDF file format, and the parser I want to use is OCR, so I can give an exception also. Okay, and then I just hit on create. That's it. You would have created your data store, right? You just go here and check. Now here it will tell you the activity, what's happening. So it's still import in progress. It's still trying to import the agent, right? But and once it's done, it will provide succeeded or failed or however it does, and then you will do the like debugging according to that. Now I already have a data which is already ingested, right? So now we will use this data for this particular presentation, but I'll show you how to get to that point, right? So now once this is done, right, once this is processed and all of that, now you can just use this data set for your own AI applications. Now how do I create this application, right? I don't know anything. I just don't want, like, let's say you're somebody who's not even to a point where you have the prompt engineering capabilities or anything like that. You just want your agent to be get ready, right? Like you just want them right now without having to know too much about it, right? So now you can go here and you can see that there's a thing called create app, right? So you can just click on it and you can see that there are multiple ways of creating an application. You can have a search application, you can have you can have for healthcare data, like Venkatesh mentioned in before, that healthcare has been a very like a huge adapter of AI at this point, because they have huge amounts of data with different patient records and all of that. And AI and generative AI has been do as is doing a very good job trying to understand that data and provide responses accordingly, right? So healthcare data, is it a healthcare data, is it like a media data or a commerce data, like any retail data or something? So you can have all of these kind of things. For us, let's stick with custom because we are using our own PDF files and all of that, right? Now this is like just a search based agent that you want to create. Now there is something called as conversation agents, right? So you can see that there's something called as conversational agent, and then this one is a chat agent. Here you can see, if you are even confused with what is both of them, you can even see that it's given build a conversation agents using both rules and generative AI that responds naturally and predictably, right? So when you use this conversation agents, there's a little more work that you want to do from your side, where you have to give instructions. You want to make sure that you tell the LLM to use this agent, to or use this data store or use that data store. So there are a lot of instructions that you need to provide. But initially, when you don't know anything, you just want to make sure that the chat app is ready, and then you will learn upon that, right? So during that time, you can use something called as a chat agent, which is basically like a Dialogflow CX agent that automatically answers your questions. It answers the user's question using the connected data, right? So let's stick to this. Let's like, okay, this seems like a better option for me, so I'll stick to this, right? So I'll hit create, and then I will give a name to my agent. Oh, it's a company name. So give your company name. It should usually come. Okay. Okay. And then if you want, you can have a time zone and a language. I can just keep it as it is, but you can have your whatever language it is, and then whatever language you want from the thing. So let's stick with English, but you can use any language that you want, right? And then your agent name. Uh, let's say FX trading agent, right? And then same, your location, whichever region that you want to add, or if it's multi-region, if that's okay, go ahead and do that, right? And then continue. That's it. You have just trying to, like, you're in that end point where you're like, okay, this is the data store that you've created before, where it's in the process of trying to uh, create that vector database that we always talk about. And that's about it. You just created your own data FX trading agent, where you can add your own more data stores that you want to and all of that. So now when you go back to the apps, I think it's still, yeah, you can see that there is an FX trading agent here. And if you click on it, your agent will be ready in something in a platform like this, which is called as conversation agents, where you can try to explore how your agent is working and make changes accordingly. So let me be clear about something, that this agent will not work immediately. You have to make sure that the data store that you have created, right? This data store should say that it has completed its activity, right? Before that, you cannot do anything with it. So it's updated its schema, but it's still import in progress, and it's still doing its work, right? It's not succeeded yet. So until it's succeeded, this agent won't work, right? And it takes time depending upon how long your PDF is. It takes time. Okay. So before so to just showcase, during, like, right now we don't have all day to sit with it. I have already created one agent, so I'll show you how that agent works, which also has same data set, right? So this is the agent that we are trying to work with. I think this was this agent. So you can see, like, how, like, you can make sure that we can have different classes on it. We already have a couple of classes of how to set up all of this agent for further, and for further more orchestration, and, like, do you need, if you need more of it and all of that. But currently I can just show you, like, you have not done anything at this point, right? You've just had multiple clicks. You have not added any code, or you have not given any instructions. But can still is the data working or not? You can just look into it, right? Like, see, if I'm just putting hi, it's able to give me answer. And then I'll just ask, summarize what you know, right? And it's giving me about FX trading agent. Did I do anything? No. But is it giving its answer? Yes. Right? So now, like, if, let's say I have a couple of questions ready for me, okay? So let's say, like, draft a cheat sheet or something like this, and let's see if it can do it, right? See, it says it has done a cheat sheet for us. So it's giving answers from the agent that we're giving. With that, from it's giving answers from, like, the data that we have provided, right? And what did we do? We did nothing. It's just doing its own, its work uh, from the files that we have provided. Obviously, sometimes the answers that it's providing might not be what we want. During that time, you can leverage things like playbooks or flows or etc., and try to build more on it, right? Make it more efficient and more better. But if for a beginner, this is more than enough if it's giving right answers at this point, right? Now, okay, now I have created the agent. Now I have to deploy it. I don't know how to deploy it. I don't know how to publish this agent and all of that, right? That is also a few clicks away, right? So when you go here, you can just click on publish agent, and let's disable it for now. And then you can see something called as environment, which you will also see later. Like, you can see that, one second. So you can see that you can have a different, you can use different, like, for example, here they have used a draft environment and, like, default start flow and start page and all of that. If you're using playbooks or if you're using playbooks or something like that, it will also let you choose which Gemini Pro, or which agent you want, like LLM you want to work with. You can even publish according to that also, right? So currently we just didn't do so much advanced techniques. We just had a very simple agent. But you can start, like, if you have multiple flows and all of that. Here, if you've orchestrated the agent, then you can change the flow sections and you can test the agent also, right? So when you publish the agent, you will have, like, in an unauthenticated API way, where if your data is not restricted, it's a publicly available data, and you are building it for public itself, then you pick this. Or if the data is restricted and you want to make sure that only people who are subscribed to you, or who who are supposed to get the data, only those people should get the data, then you can use any of these authenticated API situation, and you can enable this conversational manager, right? Then it will just give you a set of code. You need not have to create a code or anything like that. So just copy this code And if you have any, it can be even like a very it can be a small HTML file, right? So you just copy this code, right? I'll just paste the code that we found, okay? And then I'll just run it in a server, right? This can be in any way that you do. It's just a basic HTML file. I just have go live within VS Code, so I'm just trying that. So you can see this chat widget coming, and if I click on this and then I'm like, hi, and it will give me some answers, right? Like summarize the content. So it's giving me a summary of what it is able to do, and it's also providing us the document from where it's taking it, right? Now I'll ask a question from here, right? Let's just state this, okay? And it's giving us whatever is. Let's see if this is available um in our document. Yeah, it's available, right? You can see it in one or the other ways. There's multiple ways where you can see that. So it is providing from the document. We're just trying to understand if it's giving us the answers or not, right? So this is the way you can build an agent within no time, and you can see how simple it was to just build an agent. And there are multiple, like you have multiple documentations on multiple ways where you can improvise the way it looks and all of that. Now I'll show you one way, like I just improvised it a little bit, where I can have, like, I want to make sure that when when I publish my agent, it starts the conversation instead of me starting the conversation. You would have seen that I was starting the conversation, I was telling a hi, and like the user is telling that, but I don't want that. I want the agent to start the conversation. So I've made like a couple of changes in the code that they have got, very small change. Like I've just added something called as an intent over here, and I've just made some changes within the agent here, which is completely optional. No need to worry about it. In our classes we do teach you how to do all of this also. um, so, like, you just have like, hi, I'm trading, like, I just created a hand an event which will be triggered whenever the agent has been opened and all of that. So I just added like a very simple addition to the code, and I've made like a small website front end. So okay, let's say this is my website, let's think like that. And then here, if I just click on this, it will give me an additional code, and it will also do the same thing, right? Let's just ask something. And it will just provide us the answers in bullet points, and we can see if it's correct or not and all of that. But it will take you to a place where it is asking, like, this is a document that it does use, so you can go and search for it, and also all of that. Since we have only one document currently, it will just navigate us to that document all the time, right? So this is how you can build an agent within no time without using any code and all of that. And one more thing I wanted to show before going, a little bit interesting, is that within this you will find something called as integrations. Okay, so in this integrations, you can see there are like multiple ways you can create. You can integrate this data. You can integrate this agent. You can have it in Messenger or Workplace or Line. If you have like a Slack channel or Discord channel where you're trying to connect this agent, so everything has its own way of connecting it. You just have to look through the documentation and see how it's connected, and all of that. If you're in enterprise level, usually Google provides support also. You can use that and like set up your agent. So let's try something like cool, right? Like little bit cooler, right? So you can see something called as conversational phone gateway, where you can use the same agent within the phone also. So if I click on manage, and if I try to create an agent, create a gateway, it'll give me a couple of Google Voice numbers, right? And I can choose that number. I can have a display name, and then I can set this up. I already have one, and let me try calling that agent with my phone and see if it's giving the answers for us, right?
Hi, how are you doing?
So that's coming from the agent that we've created, right?
Market participants acting as agents should be transparent with their clients about their terms and conditions, which clearly set out fees and commissions.
Can you talk about summarize your content?
Market participants acting as agents should be transparent with their clients about their terms and conditions, which clearly set out fees and commissions. They should also communicate with the client regarding the nature of their relationship and seek to obtain the result requested by the client.
Talk about FX trading agent.
Market participants
Okay.
acting as agents.
Let's try again.
Good day. What can I do for you today?
Summarize your content.
The FX Global Code is a set of principles of good practice in the wholesale foreign exchange market. The code is designed to promote a robust, fair, liquid, open, and appropriately transparent market. The statement of commitment is a voluntary document that market participants can use to demonstrate their commitment to the code. The statement can be used publicly or bilaterally. The code applies to all FX market participants, including sell-side and buy-side entities, non-bank liquidity providers, operators of FXE trading platforms, and other entities providing brokerage, execution, and settlement services. The code is not intended to be a comprehensive guide to doing business in the FX market.
Thank you.
Market participants
If
should
it's not
disclose
clear.
confidential information.
So you could see that we are able to set up a phone number gateway. Definitely, this is a very basic agent where we have not set it up properly. So it's just like it's giving us the answers, but it's not up to the mark. So during that time, we can just make a setup and we can try to create them. This is how the enterprise also works, right? Look, whenever you call them, so you can see that it will ask you to press 1 to go here, press 2 to go here. All of this can be orchestrated in this page, right? We can add more where you can be like, okay, if somebody is pressing 1, then this is the response that they should get. You can enable all of it within this particular situation and give them and make the agent answer all of it, right? So this is the way that you can set up the agents without having to code so much. We have seen two kinds of integration. One is web integration and one is phone integration, and we have done all of this without having to set up too much. But we do have a lot of flexibility on how to. There are so many things within this conversational agents umbrella that you can do, and you can like leverage. If you want to use generative AI kind of a chatbot or a deterministic chatbot where you want to make sure that the responses are according to what you need, not something that's made up or something. It's like exactly what you need. You can add those responses also, and you can publish the agent without having to code so much. But if you want to get to a point where you want to code a little bit and try to do it, you can even connect this through an API where if you want your own um, like web like UI that you want, like right now if you use any messenger situation, this is the only UI that you can use, and they do have a certain, okay, sorry, they do have a certain customizations. I wouldn't say no about it. You can customize this to some extent, but it is very limited. So if you want your own UI to be there, and you want to just connect to this dialogue, this conversational agents, you can even do that using an API integrate, I mean API interactions. So there are so many things that you could do, but as a beginner, someone who does not know how to code, this is like a best way to start, because you've just created an agent from a few clicks away, right? So you've just done it, and you can even publish that agent and see how it works and all of that. So yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you in conversational agents. Of course, there are so many other things that you can explore within this Vertex AI platform. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to KKR Gen AI Innovations channel.